Hey there. So in 2 days now, I'm going to have 3 of my teeth ripped from my skull, extracted from the bone, leaving gaping holes between my sinuses and my mouth. Or put less graphically, I'm having my wisdom teeth removed. So I guess it's time to prep some soft foods. I think I'm gonna make some smoothies and some soups today and freeze them for later in the week. Don't feel great about this, but at least we will eat good food. Also, it snowed this morning and it's April, mid-April. What is that? Okay, let's just make some smoothies. Smoothie 1, I've got these really ripe bananas, frozen strawberries, cashew yogurt, cardamom, this vanilla sugar, a splash of rose water, and then I'm just gonna blend it up with as much oat milk as I need to make it the right texture. Strawberry, cardamom, rose. You don't taste the banana a lot, which is perfect because I don't love banana that much. Frozen wild blueberries, silken tofu, about half a container, some vanilla ice cream, got Oatly today, some vanilla bean paste, and a few cashews. Now we'll blend, adding oat milk as needed. That is a stunning color. 2 avocados, not quite as ripe as I'd like, but we're just gonna go for it. Some spinach, frozen mango, matcha powder, and some more of our ice cream. I will say I usually prefer savory foods to sweet, but when it comes to pureeing food, sweet sounds like a good idea. Let's give it a blend, again using oat milk as needed. It's tasting very avocado heavy and definitely in need of a bit more, so I'm going to add the rest of my vanilla ice cream, and if that doesn't do it, we'll add some maple syrup as well. It looks very green, but it tastes like a creamy matcha. We're going to start with frozen cherries, the rest of our silken tofu package, cocoa powder, a bit of our vanilla paste, and some maple syrup. Blend with oat milk. We've got 21 cups of smoothie here. On the right, we have the strawberry, rose, cardamom, chocolate cherry, blueberry vanilla, and our super green matcha. I think I might have overdone it a little bit too, but I'd rather be over-prepared than under-prepared. I'm gonna go get some lids for these and then pop them all in the freezer. The night before, I'll grab a couple out and put them in the fridge to thaw so they'll be ready when I need them. All right, so we've got breakfast and dessert kind of covered. Now let's see if we can do something to figure out some lunch and dinner type meals. I'm gonna try and keep it really simple. I don't wanna overcomplicate things, but I think I'm gonna try and meal prep 3 or 4 soups that can just be in the freezer ready to go. Here's the soft foods fun aside. In the 1970s, after all the baby boomers were no longer babies, the baby food company Gerber felt their business was a little bit lacking, so they tried to introduce a product geared towards adult. They called it Gerber's Singles, and the idea was if you were gonna be eating by yourself anyway, you might as well eat this pureed dish in a glass jar instead of cooking. Essentially, it was baby food, pureed meats and vegetables and things like that, but marketed towards single adults in a way that kind of made it seem like those adults might be lonely losers. It was not successful. It turns out no one actually wants to eat soft food all the time. I guess you don't really have a choice after you have teeth ripped, so let's make some soup. I'm gonna try and do pretty much all the prep at once, so we're gonna start by just chopping a bunch of garlic. Now, since everything I cook is gonna be pureed anyway, you do not need to be precious with the chopping. That'll be fine. For soup number 1, it's gonna be a creamy tomato soup. We're gonna need, of course, a large can of tomatoes, about half a container of silken tofu, some of our onion, and some of our garlic. I'm gonna build a little more flavor in with this better than bouillon. This is the vegetable variety. And then, of course, we will be adding whatever spices our heart desires. Probably some dried basil, some nutritional yeast. We'll see what else falls in. Okie doke. I remembered I had sun-dried tomatoes, so I'm going to add some of those as well for a bit of sweetness and variety. Soup number 2 is going to be a carrot soup. Of course, we'll need these carrots. Also some of our onions and our garlic. I'll be using a good amount of dried ginger and miso paste. Do you think miso paste and rosemary would be weird together? Because I think I'm going to try it. Soup number 3 is going to be a greens and beans soup. We'll use spinach. I'll actually be using more than what I'm showing here. Some white beans. I may be using the rest of the silken tofu here. I haven't quite decided, but for now, let's say I will. Of course, the onions and the garlic and some of our vegetable bouillon. I think I'm going to add a little bit of smoked paprika to this one. And nutritional yeast. I think I'm leaning towards not adding the silken tofu, but we'll blend it up and see. Done. I just added about a teaspoon of vinegar. Our final soup is going to be more of a broth than a soup. It's going to be centered around coconut milk with some yellow curry paste. We'll also be adding some fresh scallions, lime, of course, our onion and our garlic. And I think that's it. I think what's going to be nice about this particular broth is I can enjoy it right away as is, and then as my mouth starts healing, I could introduce things like some silken tofu or some steamed vegetables that will go nicely in the broth. But for starters, we're going to keep it very simple. coconut broth is done. All right, it looks like we have 14 soups ready for the freezer. I'm gonna handle these just like the smoothies. Freeze them, and then the night before, grab 1 or 2 of them out and let it thaw in the fridge overnight. Of course, then I will probably heat these up a little bit in the microwave. If you're looking for some more soft food ideas, some other things you could do would be juices. You could do a blended oatmeal, you could do congee, you could do dal. You could try applesauce. You could do maybe even something like a tofu scramble, especially with silken tofu. Silken tofu does seem to be sort of the MVP of vegan soft foods. You could do things like golden milk, or even hot chocolate or chocolate milk. I do think preparing a little bit ahead of time is a good idea, because I know, at least for myself, while I'm already feeling pretty crappy, I'm not gonna be that motivated to think of food ideas. So having some of these ready to go will be very helpful. If you could go ahead and share any other soft food ideas you have in the comments below, I'm sure that would be so helpful to anyone else who needs to do a soft foods diet in the near future. Other than that, if you could like this video, I would very much appreciate it. And if you subscribe, you'll be the first to know when we post next. All right, time to go get some teeth taken out of my skull. Bye. Garbage. It's a good smoothie though.